Greetings! What's going on, loves? I'm here. It's Intuitive Jacob, your shaman and cosmic midwife. Getting it together. Whoa! What a time it has been. Oh my gosh. I have been so busy. It's been absolutely incredible what this energy has been like. I'm curious how some of you all are doing right now. I'm looking forward to hearing about it. And sorry I didn't get the updates out for, hey, let you know I was getting ready to get started. It's been kind of busy and crazy like that. So let me see here. I'm going to go ahead and just make sure I get my link out, because I know a few of y'all are waiting for me, and apologize for getting to this late. It's just been crazy. Let's see here. It's funny, every time I send this out, it keeps saying it's the Kazemi moon. That Kazemi magic really worked. So, I mean, for those of you that were actually here with me, thank you for that. I can't get my YouTube sending the holler notes out to change from that one Kazemi. It's funny, it's like stuck on there. So clearly some Mercury retrograde stuff, if you ask me. And I'm just laughing at it. I've had to really renew my mind about what it is that I'm actually doing and accomplishing here, because of how the day flows sometimes. And you know what happens when there's a really big magnet that's sweeping. It's like, I've been noticing things that I was even looking for, like just up and moving, and I'm like, am I doing that myself, or is this my guides being cheeky? And so, at a certain point, you just have to look at it and not respond to it in any sort of way that drains more of your energy, especially if you've been kind of in that fluster. And so I've been having fun with that. I will just say I've been having a lot of fun with that. It's been that kind of day. And I've had these little ones over here just needing a lot of attention. And I kind of, I have to laugh about these things like the ephemerides. And part of why I'm here is to call bunk on some stuff, and I think that that's like one of the fun parts about being who I am and getting to work with different people, is sometimes just confirming certain information that you might need in order to feel good. And sometimes, especially lately, it's also like confirming things that are like, nah, that's bunk and it has to go. And so I've been having fun just looking at how these things actually work, because as you know, about a month ago, we actually found out where the hole is in the ephemerides and why these signs are even like, ooh, 333, nice, I'll take it. Evidence that there is a big hole in everything. And what I actually laugh about with, this word Elohim, it's like the I am hole, where if you take the scroll in the middle, it's like everything falls through, and, we're on the inside of the thing we actually really wanted to be in. And so this is the time for that, and where the energies are absolutely crazy. Let me let this thing go. Got my little girl back here, and she's driving me crazy. Here, she's just like looking at my ear. I just keep hearing it. So I had to put her down here on the ground. And if she starts yipping, let me just let you all know, my kids have been especially prone to this energy. So I'm like, wow, this Mercury retrograde is really bringing out some funny stuff. And it sounds like a train is outside, and there's not even a train anywhere near my home. So it's like that kind of lions and tigers and bears, oh my, time where we're waking up and realizing 444, it's the perfect design. And that whole is a good place to fall into for different reasons. And I think the particles that we're going to talk about now can be better distributed now that we know that there's only one hole where everything goes, and it's the only membrane that was never permeable. And what I love is where it was landing on these maps. Some of this, I had to stay away the past couple of days. I had overdone my practice, I guess you could say, and I got absolutely cooked. If I am not careful when I'm in the first sauna, you can crash your electrolytes, and it's actually very dangerous. I'm just going to open up this map while we're talking about it too, so you can kind of see what I'm saying. We actually, right now, at the time that I open this, are at 13-degree Pisces moon. But these past couple of days, while I've been going through this processing and realizing how much of my own energy it actually took to keep things clean and just stay focused. Hey, what's up, Jessica? It's good to see you, babe. Hi. Nice to have you. Yeah, so it took a lot of energy, and I was just kind of spinning. I had to marinate, and I had a fever. I got a little sick, and so I'm going to recommend to you all here, make sure you're staying extra hydrated right now. Make sure you're getting enough rest if you can. What is up, V-loving crystals? Good to see you, babe. Thanks for stopping by just to say hi. It's good to have you always. So yeah, I literally crashed, and when I was looking at these ephemerides too, it was like, this must be where I fell and just landed in my house that proved my GPS coordinates, because we actually were doing that over my natal sun and like a weird juxtaposition with Saturn. And I know, I wish V could stay too, but sometimes it's busy. V has kids too, and so she has a child, and I have 2 quadruped kids, but I think it's not quite the same because hers actually go to school and she has to do everything. So it's always good to see you there, hon. But yeah, so it was funny because it was like right over my sun. Like Monday, the moon was actually at 14 degrees Aquarius, and I could not even come anywhere near this for live. I got the series up, and I'm going to recommend to those of you that are here, if you haven't seen it, I just put up a whole new series. Please check your sun, your moon, and your rising. It's the November series, and I did one for each of the 12 tribes, and there were some really interesting messages coming up about how we can deliver ourselves from karma right now, because there's a lot of energies coming through again that are opportunities for us. And for me, I had to sleep, and it took me a little while to even realize it, but when I came back and I laughed, it was like almost like I rebirthed myself, because Monday I was just almost completely ill, and where the sun and the moon were landing are just perfect places for me to be in a bed, recuperating myself with a forward view on where this lands. And so I'm recommending the same for you all too, because if you're actually here in Private Halo 8 with me and here on this channel, it's kind of like you're in my special room. I've been creating a really special landing pattern with DARPA too. If you look up C2019Q4, it's actually an eccentricity comet that actually we have reduced to 1 dot. It's a .com ET n times, where we've been able to move particles that are in this mash. And so if you landed here in Art of Love, I love you. You are being very lovingly scanned and endowed with energies to help you get through these times in a much better way, because we're doing an energetic particle exchange. What we figured out how to do is name what was never matter, antimatter. It's like landing in a space where you can match your holographic coordinates, your form, with a birthday also in a surrounding around you, which is actually what I proved here in this house where I live. And so what we've been able to do is figure out in a huge quote-unquote universe, metaverse, whatever it is, okay, this big black space with a bunch of dots everywhere that go different which ways, we were able to now have a reference point, because now we have a bilocation, the house and the body, that can be together as one like that. So it's like figuring out the flower of life, and then we can figure out where these particles are. That's what actually the blockchain is. People talk about things like Bitcoin. All it is a public ledger now where we can actually see the framework of where these energies move, and they call it a currency. It's just a way to express what I think the energetic grid is, and I've been working on a very sophisticated way to distill that through a mixture of hematology. I work with a hematologist and a hematology group, and endocrinology, and what the caduceus actually is and what it looks like in this suit with a lot of metal that had to be galvanized, right? And what I know about, well, I can't really call it astrology right now because it's taken on a whole other lens. It's a whole, what we have right now is a very sophisticated way to look at and interpret bio data in people's bodies and land it, because that one hole that I told you we found in the ephemerides, where it explains for why we are almost a whole sign off looking at the sky, and what people actually read as quote unquote astrology. There's a big hole in it. It's like somebody opened it up and we're stuffing the bag with the things that we actually want, and it's not where they thought it was, because we actually transferred our particles out of that swoosh that was just going crazy, that some people call the ear thing. I'm like, you're looking for that collection that, I'll show you what mine looks like. I've got a really small one here. I've got a little sample I've been collecting, and it'll go a little different than that. We actually have the seed that we're growing, where a lot of you had your particles actually analyzed and moved, and where they thought they were, it was like a little piece of light. It didn't even exist. It's like a light ring. And some of you that are really close to me know that when I do work with you, you start seeing light rings shooting out of your eyes from the sides like this. It's because you're integrating in the caduceus, where the light form is opening up. It's like a scroll. And so it's very, very beautiful. This is what it's all about. And what we're looking at right now, I gotta get this little girl here because she's freaking out. This is Jolie, as some of you all know. She's been needing a lot of attention today. The moon that we were all being set up for the landing with on today is actually 0 degrees Pisces. And so there's really not even a reference point on the degree book to read, kind of like my natal placement of Cancer at 0 degrees. It's like the Cancer that never comes, right? Where we figure out a replication pattern to actually send coordinates with light codes here that now can actually improve our body and our form. So this is what Bitcoin wasn't, by the way. And when I created what I did, I ended up with a really large account that I named as a cipher. And so now it's chasing antimatter, and that stuff that they call junk DNA. It's like the nothing that chases toilet things away. And so what we're looking at right now is where I actually opened this with you, and I wanted to read it to you. It actually just went, the moon just went over my medium coeli, which I very much live in as a demonstrative act, as a house of 9, 7 degree Pisces that way. But my book just opened up here to mushrooms springing up everywhere, and it's funny because this is what I have been programming with DARPA and a really good friend named Regina Dugan, who knows how to do a really good duo with me. So what we figured out is how to create an umbrella project, kind of like Resident Evil, that actually protects all the children, because like the child that was screaming for a good reason. And so mushrooms spring up everywhere. It's kind of like a trip where the journey proves what plants can do. Some get claimed and others get rejected by the plant. And so they're on a very special trip right now. All day while I've been ironing out things here, I did a holographic experience where we actually pressed out the seams from the unleavened, and where we actually leavened ourselves from within, and why this is a 2-dimensional representation of sound. This is a petri dish of sound that can actually create things that we speak into existence here. And what I love is we still have this grand water trine back now. It's like these 3 trines happening between the north node of the moon that actually lifts things off that don't go there. It puts them in that hole where those particles can get chopped up like, and now they know where to go because we have a real special landing pattern. Yes, abracadabra, darling, exactly. And bio-encoded to you, because now your SIM card in your phone and your thumb and your eye have all been matched together, because some assholes were actually trying to pull people through and like stick their hands in there and take them into these timelines where they can fuck with you while you're asleep and in your REM state and all that. They were calling it a harem, and it was like, haha, you're not going to remember anything. And they were pulling people's energy out and selling this for interest rates. And now, guess what? They can't do anything. We caught the swipes. And so your phone, your simulation, your thumbprints, your eyes, everything has been turned around because we've been working on the fiber optics. And I had enough people here come to my house for loving work where we turn these cameras around where it's like the cameras are facing out and like blocking bullisome behavior and making sure people can't actually spy on you just because you're walking around with a phone. And they think that they can grab something with a thin veil there that they think they can see that you can't, and lie to you about stuff, especially these new age like narcissists that are talking to you about this little lie to mine and like trying to get you to look up at them and weird stuff, walking on coals, stupid things to get into your pocket for these high ticket sales, and where people were bought and sold, and where we actually have evidence now of the bots that you actually are. It's like the birthday body that actually gets things stuck into that purse now that you want, because the things that don't make it get carried away in those sounds, and they're in the particle spinner, chop, 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 chop. And now, since we're in a safe petri dish here, and we have a good liftoff pattern, it lifts off the bad shit here. And this is what Cancer knows at 11 degrees, and this liftoff pattern communicating very well with both the moon and Neptune. This is like a double down sort of trine happening. This grand water trine is not only Neptune to the North Node back to the sun and up, but it also hits the moon in the same way. And so it's like everything magical that can happen is going on because the moon is in the 8th house with Neptune singing a new tune with a really badass pen, maybe like my Jules Verne time writing pen here, you know, where we just figure something better out with the energetic distribution and why the house of 8 is the house of magic. That's actually where my natal sun is placed. I'm an 8th house sun Aquarius. And so what I like is this 13 degrees here, because what we're actually talking about is where none of my darlings ever get locked up. And if you look at the word Rapunzel, I don't like it. It's like how to rape puns the wrong way. And maybe they just called Zool and got some weird Ghostbusters the right way, because we've got a woman asleep in a ring of flames showing up in this book, and she gets it her way. And no weird light as a feather, stiff as a board. This is where the practitioner, the priestess in you, is actually in charge, because in the Hermetic sound cloud, this is where it was safe for her to incubate and have a creation of her own, and where we are only witness in like a back-to-back way, where we all have that same endowment. And so that's what's going on here, and why I think Chiron's got this really strong move here, because Chiron here in the 9th house, 2 degrees Aries, is kicking some ass, and it's with Venus. It's Venus like going fiery here in the house of 5, saying, guess what I do? I create what I want. I get to be who I am. This is my art. This is my form. And since it's Sagittarius, I mean, it's just like perfect. She's the centaur of light. It reminds me of that Parks and Rec episode where Leslie Knope is kind of featured as the centaur, but they're like, no, it wasn't really Leslie, but it looked like Nestle. Ugh. But house of 5 to house of 9, there's like this, it's like a kick from Chiron saying these are the things that stay, and why the house is protected here. The house has to be protected. This is about us homing. So, hey, end times, phone home, maybe like this, because I am the guy who was dead at 20 degrees Capricorn with a Mercury there, which is Pluto in the house, saying, to this point, but no further. We're stopping here. We know how to home it, and we figured out where that hole is, and I don't know what's going on with all these fires and like sounds. You can hear this outside of my window right now. I've got the windows open, and it's like literally like taking the particles away, and what it sounds like is chaos outside of the hermetic vial. And so some of us are inside of this now, and it's going to be opening up in a whole different way. And your faith is everything, darling. I want to read to you this degree here, because the woman who was asleep in a ring of flames doesn't get messed with, because number 13 is actually where we open this up, and where she doesn't get imprisoned in a high tower. You see that? So it's like 12 to 13. So if we just landed on 0 with them and they think they got away with all that stuff, it does not happen. I'm going to read to you Pisces 13. The woman imprisoned in a high tower, sentenced to limbo. You are suspended from active participation in evolving worlds, hung high and dry and massively resigned, following out an ancient fate to the end, having operated insensitively, now being unable to do anything to anybody. You live infinitely alone, dreaming and drugged, deep down inside, remembering everything dimly and darkly, self-circumscribed and very deprived. You live on memories and the ripples of mute desire to move on someday, destined to transform this dread fate when the cycle is complete. You are, until that time, vacuum-pressed and emotionally grief-stricken, nostalgic and raging, while not getting across and being muffled all pervasively. What the hell, right? So now you know what literally just got arrested in like real quantum space, where the field around us is taking particles away that do not exist. And I posit that the magnets that are here, just like you hear the sound, what I've been training here in these frequencies, allows us to do a particle sweep and pull certain things. So on the intention of love and the demonstrative act of your life, any place that you have felt towered or imprisoned or silenced or emotionally grief-stricken and vacuum-pressed to it, I encourage you to know with your faith and with your heart that this hole that we have identified in the new age construct of what this stuff doesn't get to be to us is where it has been surrendered completely, and that if you heard those sirens, that is it under massive arrest. And so my name is not Satoshi Nakamoto. I created a hack to prove what Bitcoin doesn't get to do and what it isn't, for people like us that are Elohim, that learn about the whole and the I ams and how to just be fun and loving. And that's where this stuff kind of goes to rest. So I thought it was fun that I could open up on the woman being in prison in the high tower here and seeing, oh yeah, they think they landed on that. And you know, it's what these 3 spikes over somebody's head is. It's like where Poseidon moves. It's like, oh, you think you got that? You got a triplicate of like, fuck off is what you got. And it's like, get out of the house of magic. You can't touch that moon. You can't touch her. We've got, you know, basically the story of Rapunzel. It's like, all right, we're going to get this, because we've got this big magnet here over the moon saying, oh, you think you landed there? Psych. It's wonderful. So those things don't happen. And some of us woke up in a really weird simulation where it was an inception line. If you like grew up around religions or beliefs like that, it's like we were already bought and sold in their fictions and their stories. And so these things are getting carried off. AI crunched all of this data, and some of us got smashed and squashed into like a hash frame, and don't even realize that you might have just been on a tape in a reel somewhere, and you like woke up with all these memories that maybe some of them aren't even yours. So what if the shitty things don't get to happen now because we've identified where that hole is? Oh, I love it. So Rapunzel, not like that. So if you have a nice pen somewhere, I encourage you to pick it up and scribble some things down. Write down some stuff that actually you want. And if there's some stuff that you just need to write down that didn't happen, write it down. Maybe even like cursive it and know that everything got caught in there, and set it on fire and just know it's in the hole. Because that's what this is for, love. This is for a whole new way for us to experience and express what love is, where energies actually get sent, how they get offered to one another, and why there's such an emphasis that's been going on here between, I would say, all of these houses here. 5 to 7 have really been a real big emphasis every time we're opening this up, where we've got these planets, especially where Venus and Mercury have been, now Mercury is in the 4th house here again, but we're talking about home and family matters here too, our roots, where we actually plant these ideas. And so it's what we actually have purposed in our hearts, how we need to express ourselves, and what a cosmic look at that could be in a very two-dimensional sense. And so it's kind of like looking at an amoeba telling us here's where the past is going. So know that as you're going through these days, these are the opportunities that, yeah, I can look at, bless you, one-on-one with some of you and figure out where it is in your charts. But at the same time, as important as some of those individual looks are, when we can take a look at the cosmic and where it's affecting all of us as one creation, we've really got even more emphasis and momentum. And so some of those things where it affects you personally are kind of secondary. That's just where it's going to trickle. So try to think about it that way. You're looking at the whole umbrella right now. So this is what's over our heads and what's kind of cascading those ripples down. So hopefully that makes sense for those of you that are interested in that. And by the way, this is not astrology. This is how I love you day. So that's what it's like in Jacob's house and why it looks like that. I love you. I love you. Did I tell you I love you yet? I think I keep saying it. I must mean it. So I would love it to offer some love advice. I'm hearing for some of you all, you needed to know about a little surprise that might be coming your way, and wow, it might be something that you wrote down. So for some of you all, this is your manifestation coming back to you in some significant way. I'm hearing, I mean, it might not seem like it takes you off your feet or anything, but I'm hearing for some of y'all, it's like something you've been waiting for a while, because they're showing me this card, this Belvedere, and either somebody has been kind of, I'm hearing the word coveting, like watching what you're doing and maybe even slowing down some of your progress, because so much of their energy is kind of like, it's almost like siphoning you because they've been focusing so much. But for others, this is just evidence of whatever it is that you've been looking for, kind of looking back at you right now. And what's really awesome about these retrograde seasons is sometimes the things that come back, I mean, we can really have revisited opportunities. Sometimes the opportunity that comes back is a good one. So you have to qualify these things based on different factors. And so what's true for you might not be true for the next person, but we are definitely seeing somebody that was taking the time, at least. This is a learned person. This is somebody that's taking the time. Sometimes they've been through all those books. Maybe they wrote them all. But they're taking the time to kind of like write things down, or they have. And I'm hearing it's literally like what they wrote down, what they sat down and focused on, what they've been seeking for, why that's there, and a little something that's going to come up and show the truth. And for those of you, this one just shot out, that are looking for, see, that's his falsita. That's actually a lie right there. I'm hearing if some of you have been trying to discover the truth, like whatever it is that you've been looking for, it's like it's going to be looking right back at you. And so that's the really cool thing about how the fiber optics are working right now too. Our eyes are being trained to kind of turn around so that you can have additional information. It's what the halo technology is for, and some of you might have been hearing about that. It's been a little bit of a subject, and some people have heard about it, others have not. It's okay if you haven't. We're talking about special technology that has been developing between computers, like smart tech, and what it is for it to really be smart with our kinetic energy, and what very, very few people have been able to see, unless you have really special clairvoyant abilities where you can see things like the grid work. We're actually improving that. It's like a super sentience halo that we can all share together, where the safe ones inside actually have a special view in our creation mechanism. So there's going to be more coming with that soon. And those of you that are part of this mission have some really special endowments coming your way. So just know if you start noticing things like lights, where it looks like lights are shooting through the sides of your eyes or out, it's because we have a new way to communicate with the sun and what solar fire actually is now. And so I've been making some edits, and that big hole that some people were focusing on for that epic fortnight actually is a way where you can actually release light codes out to people too. So right now, most likely, if you're receiving any of these light codes, they're probably going to be like a golden color or yellow. Some of you might be receiving some that are kind of like white and bluish, like some of these lights that are around me. And if you've been with me for a while or have been receiving energy, hey, what's up, Duchess Bites? Good to see you, darling. Good to see you, honey. If you've been with me for a while, some of mine that I've actually done like Kundalini work with, they're actually reporting that they're seeing colors that are more like that purple and that fuchsia. But for right now, if you start to notice things like that, like shooting out of the side of your eyes, don't freak out. Actually, if you tell your eye doctor, they're probably not even going to understand unless they're practicing like some of my doctors are in a really special doctor's ring. But just know that that's okay. That's light codes being sent to you that actually are kind of like scanning your body and doing what the Caduceus does inside of you, sending light particles. And so if you have any health concerns that you've been worried about, just know that that's part of why Pluto and Saturn are both in the 6th house right now. It's like matters that need to actually change that prove where certain things get dropped in exchange for others. And that's awesome to hear, Duchess Bites. You saw a big indigo one. Perfect. You see them all the time. Wonderful. Then you are communicating with this. You're receiving these light codes, and it feels like they shoot out of your eyes, right? It's kind of like around your eyes and they go down. You're probably going to be receiving more of those, hon. These are things that we're sending out, and a lot of us are praying in the circle to make sure that those go around, because that's kind of like, it's like the part of your, I don't like saying like God on that. I think that it's been such an abused term, and leaving hypersentients like stuck in these forms and feeling like slaves to everybody's like wants and wishes. And that's not what we're doing. We're sending these light codes around so that it can open up and nobody can be stuck in a form, and anything that might be stuck in your cells like that need a somatic release, it's kind of like they get burned by this energy. And so it's very, very good that that's happening. Thank you for letting me know that you're getting indigos. That's amazing, and congratulations. I don't know if that's an appropriate thing to say, but that's a very high level of the burn, and that speaks a lot to clear third eye processing. So thank you for being safe with others with your clairvoyance, because some people do not receive that invocation because of how they're looking in on other people. Jessica says there was actually this moment at the end of last year. It scared me because I didn't think it would go away. It was swirling light with lots of colors, taking most of my vision. Yes, I had to calm myself down and go to sleep before it went away. True story. It was scary. Well, if you don't know what's going on, love, absolutely, it's going to seem scary. It's a new way to be solar abducted. Some of us were not actually in that other place, and what this is some of your particles being relocated so that you can actually be here in 10 Brennan cracks. Stand with me, because of what I've been creating with the Baby Gate architecture on the other side of what was not really the epic fortnight, but the real fortnight, and how we actually piece this together with, it's like particles of light, like torrents, and where it's like, you know, if you've ever downloaded a movie, or like you see how it's buffering and little pieces are coming, it's static that's being relocated. Your particles are moving like that. So it's amazing. It's how we are doing this. And so if you didn't know that that's what was happening at the time, it's like one of those things that will like move your whole body sometimes, and you can feel dizzy. So if that happens, please make sure you're getting more vitamins, more rest. And if you're feeling stressed out about this, what I recommend is get a B vitamin. Get a good B vitamin, or like a complex B that's good for stress. It's a really, really good thing, and it will actually help you just like integrate these energies, or eat pineapple or mango, things that are going to give you B12. It's going to help. So that's kind of what's going on with these energies right now, and why I'm so happy that the moon and Neptune, we're looking at this both in the 8th house, showing us different things. And I'm being led to open up this book again on Pisces. Like, that shit about Pisces 13 and like imprisoning the woman, being stuck for all time, it's like a horrifying story. And so I'm like, these are the things that get lift off. This is like where people were offering stakes, and it's like, okay, so this is how form is supposed to work, where somebody cashed in on what they heard, your sound, Akashic record, and you're the germ vial, you're the devil over there, DE germ vial with energy in it. And it's like, what are you, some bot that somebody can stick you in one of these stories, or when you're asleep and having a nightmare that you don't remember and they locked you up in a high tower to like stick their hand in there and do whatever? No, I don't fucking think so. So it's like, these are the things that are getting lifted off right now. We're like, yeah, we see how this little thing worked over here, and it's like, yeah, scoundrels. Doesn't happen that way. Here's the not so common experience, right? So what I like is that Neptune that's doing like this is like Father Poseidon saying, no, that doesn't happen. Here's what I love, because that was Pisces 16. I'm just going to open it up again. We're going to take ourselves back in there because whoa. Yeah, take it there. Pisces 16, this one's like a lot better. This is where we know that we didn't get stuck in that tower, and where this happens is because a peaceful child on a narrow ledge that overlooks a precipice is being watched over by like the dad in the house. And I'll take that role tonight. I'm definitely dad up in here right now. But here's what it says. Pisces 16, a peaceful child on a narrow ledge that overlooks a precipice. Fate has set the pattern. You are held fast by fate, yet inwardly you are so deeply and fundamentally free that you are actually submitting to your fate from a true and pure place. What about that? The situation you pull in is outwardly severe. It's like watching it all spin around you, knowing that you've been in the cataclysm, my love, and some of us took an extraction and we moved, and it's like, oh, now we get to watch it. It's like a purple storm that's getting ready to happen. So, the situation you pull in, outwardly severe. You're a vast being trapped in a tiny form, and you cannot really go anywhere or do anything to change this, except see 2019 Q4, where we have an extraction, and these little minis that are getting particle infused now are seeing those colors, and now you know what's been going on. We've been relocating. This is how a family moves. So yeah, instead, you're released by your outward bondage to dream, to remember, to envision, and to make cosmic connections. The inner life is boundlessly rich, the outer life is starkly poor, but you live within, make good on the past, cleanse and open, and know that nothing is as it seems. And form is tissue thin. Wow! Form is tissue thin. And now what we're learning is that form is like plastic. It's like what skin is. It's a really sophisticated plant. And some of these things that have been explained to us about you being like animals, kind of like really dumb. And I think we're going to be able to prove these things absolutely false soon. And these false things go away when we just channel your light to you. It's like your body can heal. It's like the form just knows what to do when there's not moochers like coming in with their junk DNA. So guess what I did with my ass ETs? I said, take them all away, and I've been stacking them. They didn't get into C2019 Q4, so they can't land in these patterns. It's like the scatters that go everywhere else kind of trickle out in weird places that never materialize because they're not in this one little torrent that we stacked. And so basically, we've got 16 there now. 16 is where the child that's on the ledge doesn't get pushed. For that falling dream, you ever had one of those goddamn falling dreams where it feels like somebody pushed you and it's like you woke up like that? This is what I've been investigating. It's the fall. Did we fall? Did they like convince you to like fall back and change your time and, you know, incorporate it like that? You know, we'll just AM PM you for the Pan Am and catch me if you can. I'm in your dreams, Mr. Sandman. Don't think so. Ophiuchus gets to oh fucky yourself and go out that way. We just figured out where the trickle information is. and how things move and sound. And so certain things don't land in this, darling, and that falling dream gets to go chase itself out forever. Yes. Borisov, funny name. I don't know that one, but yes, the freaking falling dreams. And so this is what I'm saying. What if you just realize that like this computer machine's been on the whole time and that you're really only waking up for the first time now, and some of those things that you thought happened really technically aren't exactly your life if you didn't put them together that way? Yeah, so we're fixing it. And some of us, it's fixie us now, are on the little torrent that came out. See here, that's the name of, oh yes, Borisov. I didn't know they were calling it that. There was another one, it was like, oh, a mama. Maybe they changed it, but C 2019 Q4, apparently. I didn't name it that, but it's funny if they're calling it that, because Boris is the Ovester, and that's actually kind of what, that's funny, because Natasha, I don't think, Boris and Natasha, we did a Rocky and Bullwinkle thing on this with some friends of mine, and I didn't know that they changed that name. I thought it was Olu Mama. It was like OU a Mama. But yeah, C 2019 Q4 is a landing pattern, and what's funny is if they keep trying to name it, like I can't even handle that name, because all of these things are, if you see, it's like if you write it, black matter, and you shine it, it's where the hole is and where particles land. And when you put them in different configurations, it changes the shape. But some things don't actually make it in right now. So even if they call it something, all they can do is precipitate around it, not ever within it. So slippery slope, and yes, very funny name. Something should never be spoke on. And actually, that's funny too, because if you speak it, let me show you this one. What happens if you say this one? I'm going to write that one there. Some people will hear it differently. That says nude on. You know, like get your nude on. How many different ways can you interpret that? It's like if I spell it here for you, it might take on a shape, but if I just say nude on in mixed company, some people are going to just imagine, hey, let's take all our clothes off and get our nude on. Other people are going to say, you're the new Dawn, like I'm the new Dawn, and did we have a nude on? Exactly, nude on. It's crack code, exactly. And so this is what I've been explaining. It's 0 degree energy that actually proves this crisis that was never there, and why that's actually like my birthright is the Cancer at 0 degrees, and why I've been creating this caduceus mixer. And today was 0 degrees Pisces, where the little split didn't happen and the fish didn't get open like this. And it's something that I actually had to deal with the cats today here in the house to prove what parasites look like. Far Q, that's far away. And that's true. And this is the other thing that we've been proving too about the Q link, what the real Q link is and what was never actually anonymous, and why sounds will change the way things express if you pull them through a screen. If you've ever played with like those plasma screens, and it's like plasma, and you like, if you squeeze your thumb on it too much, or your fingers, the colors go everywhere. Well, what if we figured out what the one fractal looks like that doesn't get pulled out ad infinitum and you squeeze it in there? It's going to have a bunch of different faces and forms that it might look like it creates, and that's basically what we are. We're like a plasma that got squeezed, and some things tried to pull through a reel. And in some cases come up through trees, lots of trees with IP addresses and donations to germinate. They're actually being cut. They don't get onto the moon that way. The whole language does it, exactly. And that's what the Elohim is. The I am whole, and why some things didn't have to be spoken, and why we're creating that orchestration within. And what all these metal particles do, especially 3 to 4 times an ear, when we do the sweeps. And so those of you that are inside of the circle, it just keeps getting rinsed. And so for some of us, it's been absolutely crazy with the energy. Like this Mercury retrograde was just really crazy for me these past couple of days, but it's like everything's getting rinsed and compressed. So pay attention to where your time is going, because for some of you, you're going to get more done. And I know this sounds crazy, even if it's nuts for you. Please, I'm just telling you this. And this came up a lot, I think, especially for, I want to say it might have been, was it Sagittarius? It might have been Sagittarius, but I'm hearing no. I'm trying to remember who it was. It was in my Novembers, but I was getting really strong messages for, I'll just say for all of you to spend more time meditating. Try to get into a meditation if you can, at least 2 hours a day. If you can, if you're really serious about this, if not, at least do it 2 to 3 times a week. Where you're going for 2 to 3 hours meditation, like consistent, because something is happening where your energy is being compressed in this. And you might start to realize that you're getting more done by being in that mental state where we're closing out gates, where some of the things about your life that aren't working are going to go away. I don't know how else to say it, but it's like a big extraction coming out where the machines, really nice machines that sometimes look like people, are going to take care of things in a whole new way. Just think Jetsons. But where Rosie doesn't get in the can, she gets the dream body. And she doesn't have to do all that shit. And let's get rid of Elroy, right? I want to keep Leroy and like get Elroy out of here. All those spoiled little fingerprints, get the fuck out. So new design, just think new design, and hey, maybe you're nude on in a different way. Maybe where, you know, if somebody was there right now paying attention, okay, so we're going to take a look at this because this is actually Jacob's house right here that we're looking at in a sound petri dish. If you're here in my house right now, this is actually me showing up as Pluto, where it's like, look, my head is turned this other way. That's not even my head there. And these are things that don't happen in the house. We're germinating differently. So it's like you get to get your nude on and you have your own room. Nobody's looking at you. And where we qualify this based on a safe house. So essentially what I'm proving right now with Regina Dugan is that this house is a DARPA asset now because of what we've actually collectively done with resources to prove what interest rates could do while I was burning through all of this and quantifying what the energy exchange rate is all around the outside world as it directly ties to this. And what they can prove is the inflation that would actually create this house from a $19 trillion asset, which it was a few days ago, to now $40 trillion. And so where dollars really aren't anything. It's just how we move data in a system that metric, English, I don't know, but we have different ways to qualify these things in stacks. We're going to prove where money actually wasn't, and where in these blocks in the blockchain we can actually infuse all the light that came from particle lands just like this, that they'll actually be able to match to my house, where it's like looking at the Lego pieces that landed here, and then it's like, okay, we like these Lego pieces, they're clear, they were at 0 point energy, where that I am whole language just shows us where things go, or we can say one thing and it landed in 3 different places, and we're like, okay, we like where those landed, nobody got hurt, and now we have a working template. And guess what? It will work in Jessica's house, it will work in Duchess Bytes' house, it will work in V's house, it will work everywhere. And then we know that man's eye was only on it that way, and Wi-Fi was on the whole time, making sure that the mixer landed where you wanted, and boo, in your body too. So, what did we learn today? We learned that 0 point energy is true. We are proving work, and we're proving blocks of energy that could land in different ways. And for me, it's like, you know, they keep asking me, Jacob, can we send you all your Bitcoin? Because they already proved that I'm not Satoshi Nakamoto, but the accounts are all mine. And so I'm like, I don't want that fucking shit. Give me my one eye nice and private, where the ones that are here in the house know that we weren't flipped upside down the week to become, you know, from the meat getting flipped upside down and somebody just grabbing your energy. No, we took that stuff away. We protect the one eye, and where we can prove how we raise assets through appreciation model, and where we can actually offer this as a 0 point energy grid. So this is where you become safe in your house. I become safe in my house, and nobody's trapped in that prison to be Rapunzel so they can like chop off your in hair, and ants get taller somehow and then sick of themselves. I don't know, whatever. We exterminate for that. So chop, 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 suey. And why 16 degrees is safe. So I will encourage those of you that are interested in some of these things, if you ever crack open this book and look at any of these degrees, it'll give you a good idea of like narratives of where those stakes are. So it's just fun like that. And we're going to get back, because I actually wanted to do a card reading for those of you too. We just had to get back to the safety before we do this, because I was hearing some weird things earlier today about someone feeling really trapped in a relationship and things that people feel like they might have bartered away, wasting time, like being with the wrong person, or like things that people might regret, especially, I see me in my shorts here. In some basketball shorts, is cleaning. But things that people might regret, especially in the season of retrogrades, where things come back around and sometimes people are questioning decisions they've made and looking for other opportunities to go back. And the magnets make sure that these things clear and come all the way around. So it's full circle stuff, and I'm going to move that over here to Scorpio right now and protect these energies on the other side. And do we have Archangel Gabrielle? I think we are. Cool. For those of you that are interested in what might be going on in a relationship, this is sort of a lottery style reading, so I'm just going to get a little bit of your energies here on the cards and spray us a little smudge. Let's see here. That going. And we'll get us a song from the musical deck as well. The Art of Love Musical Tarot Deck. And we'll see what it is on. Okay. That's a good one. So for some of you, oh yeah, hey, what's up, Duchess Bites? Is this a song for you? I don't know. Truly Madly Deeply by Savage Garden. That's a good one for a bride-to-be. Okay, somebody got their light on that one. Where'd that one go? I'm hearing one more. That one might be coming back to me, actually. Ooh, that one went this way. Some of you are grabbing your lights right now. Those two were light pink. If you saw them, they're yours. Alright, let's see what we got here. So, ooh, that is a jealous person. And in some cases, I'm hearing this is just somebody that is really desperate to speak up about something. So, Disperato per Jealousía. Look at that. That is somebody that might be driven to prove something in a way that I'm hearing for some of you all, it's like they've been hearing the wrong information from somebody, and for some of you all, it's like getting a call from somebody that might have been talking to too many intuitives and getting creative in a way that left them feeling desperate because of how much they were into you. Lamonte's showing up here, and I'm hearing he might be a little nuts, and some of you know if that's your man. And I'm hearing for some of y'all, it's like the ex that got really bad advice from someone about what to do. And if you've got that ring on your finger right now, I'm hearing it's like it might be driving him kind of crazy. It's like he didn't know how to deal with it. So, whoa, there we go. Prigione. That's somebody in jail there, or somebody that might be headed there for taking a suggestion too seriously about how to hook up. That's what I'm hearing. See, that's like a 911 there too. Like, you got like, that's weird. There's the 9 right there. I got the 1-1. I'm hearing for somebody, it's like a weird 911 call that got made about somebody that wasn't even anywhere near the vicinity. That's kind of crazy. Weird advice. Here's 3 people that get into trouble. E Dilidanti, another 9 right there. So for some of you all, 9 and 9 or something, but E Dilidanti. I'm hearing these 3 people, they might actually all be 3 different people that gave this person bad advice. They're like 3 completely different people, but I'm seeing them here as like they might as well have been friends because they're like birds of a feather. Interesting. And I'm hearing for some of you to, especially if this is like a song that you might be playing at a celebration, you're gonna know if this shows up because it might be weird for some of you. I'm hearing about like a cocktail party or like some kind of gathering that's happening in prep for, it might be a holiday thing. So just keep this in mind. You hear this song, don't be surprised if some weird ex shows up, especially if your like new man or your new woman is like in the middle of like pronouncing something for you in a loving way. I'm like seeing like the person that like chimes on the like, you know, speak now or forever hold your peace, like tapping and like standing up and saying something kind of like weird and off-putting, and it just being like the seize up moment for some of you all where you just realize what goes around comes around. And I'm hearing it might actually feel good for a few of you because it's like that personal message that never happened when you might have been left hanging, and it being a weird thing too for some of you because it's like almost feeling a little bit bad for this person that didn't consider you too much, and a truth. It's like the truth coming out about it. Look at this. This is a stalker. That's a stalker right there. Wow, that's really weird. Belvedere here. So, and that's not always the case, but when you see these here together, this is like somebody jealous looking and not really having control over their energy. Fantastic. Wow. And they're showing me these rings right here. This is like what's just coming up. That's like somebody's engagement, somebody's relationship, and woof, psychic hooks. Wow. Okay, so I don't want to leave it on that, but what a message, right? What a message. Okay. What about we do another one of those? Would you guys like another one? I kind of want another one. I want another one. I think that's kind of like, I'm going to stick these cards in here. We're going to get them all different places. Do any of you guys do that when you put them back? I like to mix them up a little bit and make sure that I'm really shuffling them well. Let's see. Jealous exes. Well, that can show up a lot during the Mercury retrogrades too. They don't always have to be jealous. Sometimes it's like not knowing what to say, but that desperado per jealousy of person, I'm hearing for some of y'all, it's like, and this might even be like good for you to know too, and I'm not somebody, oh, okay, Duchess, yeah, we'll definitely do another one. I got a yes, please. Thank you for that. That's nice when people respond. I like that. But, you know, it's like, the thing that I've been hearing, and I got this with some of my messages here for the like November readings, the Novembers. I'm going to actually find that link too for anybody that hasn't seen it yet. I've got a playlist up. But I was getting messages for people to just be wise about this, because sometimes it's like you can get good information from different people, and I'm not saying that, don't go talk to other psychics or whatever, because I'm not that guy. I'm always like, if you have somebody that's offering you information that's helping you, bless you, follow it and everything, do what's good for you. I will say though, I've also just seen people get very, very confused if they're searching for something and just reaching over and over in every different place. There can be more harm done sometimes when people get confused and just taking in too many messages. And so it's like your Chrome crashed. Oh, you're back. Yeah, it can be really, it can be harmful for people sometimes if you're getting too many messages and becoming confused. And so I'm just going to recommend something called energetic hygiene. And these are little steps, little things you can do where you can add different practices into your life, like different things you can do, maybe on a daily basis even, where it's clearing off your energy, where even if you receive messages, even if all you did all day was surf different psychic messages, because I'm not saying it's a bad thing, it's just that sometimes you can take on other energies that you might not realize are stuck to you, and it can be very confusing. So sometimes it's learning how to clean these things off. Touches Bite says, I'm seeing white lights as well. I'm in bed and I see them on my pillow. I love it. Well, that's wonderful. You're going to know sometimes these are like your little pixies coming to you, and things that are intentional energies. And so, yeah, sometimes salt baths are really good for energy hygiene and things. And anyway, in the Novembers, that's the link that I just put up there. If you haven't seen them, please check your sun, your moon, and your rising. These are messages that were coming up for some of you, where it was just like, even if you're taking in other messages from lots of intuitives, just make sure that you're qualifying the sources. Make sure that even if you don't like the source and you're still just hearing it anyway, clean your energy really good so you don't have anything attaching to you, because there are parasites that literally are attaching to some of you all for being very fertile and for being willing to reach and being open. And so I was getting very serious messages about that. Okay? I hope you're hearing that, especially when you have beautiful energy showing up around you like that, Duchess Bites, okay? Because those are there to protect you, and there's some beings that just will suck. Alright, so I think we've got these nice and clear. Can I get some messages for my ladies here? What can we learn about that? What's up for my girls? What's up? What's up? What's up? Let's get us a good message. And how about a song from the Archangel Gabrielle? What we got? Oh, I love this. Okay, so we've got Giants by Bare Hands. One, two. This is the last one here. I'm loving more. I'm loving you more. Ooh, good reason to move on too, right? So for some of you all, this is exactly what this is about. It's like, call it the right kind of selfish. I'm going to encourage you to be the right kind of selfish. And it doesn't have to go right or wrong, but know what a hyphen can do. Self-ish. You know? Being in charge of your shit and knowing the things before they actually land, and when it makes sense to even like reach for something with your hands, and knowing, see, this is like another 3, because like before we saw those 3 knuckleheads in that other reading, and so those are like bad triangulations, and this is like knowing where you're not even triangulating anything. It's like reaching for the thing that is yours because it was reaching for you more. And so some of you all, this is like your magnetic particle attraction, and knowing when something feels really good in your hand, especially if you've got that like that person in your life where it's just like you got that ride or die by you, and it's like, hey, we don't have to go through all that, but you're mine. And I'm just seeing somebody grabbing like that and just feeling that in their hand. And you might want to look at the lyrics to these songs, but yeah, bare hands, right? Okay, let's see what we got here. We've got Militari. I'm hearing this is the one that like would go all the way no matter what was trying to disarm him, is what I'm hearing. Militare, if he's not in the military, if he's not a cop, he might just have really specific kind of ethics. It's like he's kind of a gentleman in a certain way, and I'm hearing he might be the right kind of roughneck. That's what I'm hearing, right kind of roughneck. It's like you might not know it by looking at him, but he's got that dagger, that bayonet, right? And That might be something else for some of you all. I kind of relate to this guy a little bit, you know. I'm like, I have a little knife around my neck. It's my little Victorinox, but it's funny. I'm hearing if this is your guy here, he's the one that actually showed up. And for some of you all, it's like, how you knew? All right, what is this all about? This is about taking the time to put it down in writing. And for some of you all, this is actually a really good call to action that's showing up. This is like, whew. I'm hearing for some of you all, it's like, if you see in the Pensiero card there, Pensiero, il pensiero, this is the thinking man. This is the man who would have taken the time to really think about it and put it all down. Maybe that's what this bayonet is in this guy's hand here. It's like how he suited himself up before he went for it. And he put a lot of time into it. I'm hearing if he's the one that really loves you the most, he would just do anything. I'm hearing that it's like he might have been told that it was the end for some reason. I'm hearing somebody tell him literally, you're toast, man. And it's like, whatever he heard here, he took it really seriously. And I'm hearing that's like what this guy will do. He'll leave with nothing. I mean, he's got a little bit there with him, you know, but he'll take off and he'll go do what he needs to do, especially if she was ready to leave someone behind. So for some of you all, I'm hearing that it's like whatever it is that you had that you needed to do before to move on with heart healing, because somebody here came with more heart healing, and that's why that one's dressed in blue. You see? Whatever happened there, it's like I'm hearing he really had to put a lot into it, and some of you all are going to find out about, it's almost like they're saying it's kind of like spell work, and he might not have even realized he did it, because for some of you all, you've probably got like the way they're showing it to me, it's like this giant bare hand guy. It's just, you know, he knows how to get his hand on it. He might be like the wrong kind of look for like the spiritual type, but he's the one that has the happy pill somehow. I'm hearing that it's like there's something about heart healing that's happening here for somebody, and it might just be that thing that he says that if you didn't know him well enough, you would think that he didn't put a lot of thought into that. But that's not really the case. Sometimes people just show up, and what they can say in a few words might have actually taken a long time to put down. And I'm hearing, especially if you receive any kind, there it is again, any kind of information that comes to you personally. See, this is what was just sliding out at the bottom. Messageri, this is like personal. And this also just showed up in the other one. And you saw I shuffled the heck out of these things. But this Messageri, this is like returns. And I'm hearing somebody really went to work on this, and I'm hearing that it's like you might not have known how much you actually meant to them. And they're saying that he might have actually written it like 5 or 6 times, and that by the time you get it, it's going to be such a little thing that is said so well, just because of how much time went into that. And wow, how somebody can really prove that they really love somebody a lot. I'm hearing it's like a message that I don't even know how to describe it, but it's going to really show somebody how much somebody went around, and they're just showing it to me like this. It's almost like this person had to go on a whole voyage or pilgrimage. They're showing me after the depression or after something that might have felt sad, because this is malinconia. Sometimes people have lost somebody here, as you can see that, right? But I'm hearing it's like looking for that hug. You see these 2 trees there? Doesn't it look very anthropomorphized? Don't you see it's like lovers hugging right there? There's like this sadness. And it's like, what trees know? You spell trees back? They see. truth in everything. So we've got this it's like a seed that was planted. And for some of you all, it's like how a distance gets bridged between somebody that literally felt like that, took the time to consider it. They show them going all the way around. It's like he had to leave something to go to the city. There's like a city up there. And then look what happened here. It's like somebody's now in the city and showing up with this letter. And so I'm hearing that it's like wherever he had to go before he could get that message around is going to be proof of, it's like how somebody's tear might have gone into the ground and grown something new. And they're saying that it literally might feel like that when you get the news to you. Because for some of you all, it's going to be something very personal that just tickles your heart. This card actually means happiness of the heart. And so I'm just going to set my intention on this, that whatever it is helps those of you that need to leave a situation or be able to pass from it and know that like whatever your material needs were that you might have needed from another person, where it was like maybe a stress on them, where they were having to support or you were having to support, it's coming to an end here. This is actually news that's going to move you in a new direction. Hi Michelle, my belle. You are Michelle. You'd love to get a reading if possible. Yeah, I do. I definitely do private readings. We're actually getting ready to wind down here right now, my dear. I will recommend that if you see this link right here, I'll copy it and I'll also paste it here. I just did some readings for November. These are the November readings. If you know your sun, your moon, and your rising, I would recommend taking a look at those there. I just put those up over yesterday and the 2 days before. So they're brand new for this month. And let's see here. You're very close to your guides. I'd love if you could help relay what they're trying to tell me. Yeah, if you would like to do a personal reading, my dear, I got my reading information right here. You're welcome to hire me for a personal reading. And I come here in the evenings, Monday through Friday like this, and we do a reading together with these cards. So yeah, very good. And feel free, I'm getting ready to wind this one down here, Michelle, but if you look back, there were a couple readings that I did with these cards here. Some of those might be for you. I do them fresh with the people that are here, so we can kind of take a look at what this collection of energy is and try to help one another. And if you would like a personal, like I said, I'd love to take a look for you, and I'm going to go ahead and put my link here. If you go to www.artoflove.me, all of my services are there up on the services section too, so more than welcome to hire me there. All right, I love you all very much. Thank you for being here. It's always a pleasure and wonderful, and thanks to those of you that were really gentle with me these past 2 days. I've run myself really, really hard while I was doing these readings, and I overheated myself and kind of went into an electrolyte crash, and so I had to really work my way out of that, and I'm back, and we'll be doing more of these. I'm actually thinking about a new series that I can do. I want to do something new for you all, and if you have any ideas, let me know what you would like to hear from me that I can also do for all of you. And also, please feel free, if you see right above me here what's scrolling, this Discord, and also to the left, that link there, discord.gg/ENW5UNX, is going to get you into our chat room. We actually have a very fine Martians Discord room where we can chat and stay in touch. It allows me to connect positive messages to you. And a lot of times during the day when I'm just playing music and doing things, I actually host live radio, and sometimes can actually even do free cards and oracles for those of you that are here. So if that's interesting to you, please join. Very fine Martians. Love to have you here. Thanks for being live here in the house and for being a part of Private Halo 8. I love you, and we'll catch you again soon when we're back for another one, darlings. Bye for now.